tried to describe something in a unique and imaginative way? Canning poems are all about that. They're like word puzzles that pack vivid descriptions into short phrases. Today, we'll dive into the world of canning poems and discover how these creative wordplay gems work. We are the Group 6, and today we will discuss canning poems. So first, what does canning mean? A canning is a type of metaphorical expression or compound word used in Old Norse and Old English literature to describe something in a more indirect and figurative manner. It involves using two or more words to symbolically represent a single concept or object. Cannings are often used to create imagery and add poetic depth to the text. For example, the canning whale road might be used to refer to the sea, and battle sweat could describe blood. Cannings are a unique and creative way of conveying meaning in poetry and storytelling.
So hi everyone, I am Chino Rose Dimundido and I am here to discuss about canning poem. So what is a canning poem? A canning poem is a form of poetry that originates from Old Norse and Old English literature. In a canning poem, complex concepts or objects are described in metaphorical and figurative terms, often using compound words or phrases. These indirect descriptions can create vivid and imaginative imagery in the reader's mind. For example, instead of directly saying ship, a canning might use wave steed to describe a boat. Canning poems were commonly used in the poetry of the Vikings and Anglo-Saxons and are still appreciated in modern poetry for their creative and evocative language.
Good day everyone, my name is Lilian Tuba. Today I will discuss about the structure of a canning. So what is the structure of a canning? The structure of a canning consists of creating a compound or metaphorical expression to describe something indirectly. Here's the basic structure of a canning. First is the subject, the object or concept you want to describe. And the second is compound expression. This is the canning itself, composed of two or more words or phrases that symbolically represent the subject. I have here the examples of common cannings. First is whale road, a canning for the sea. It portrays the sea as a path traveled by whales. The second is blood sweat, a canning for blood. It suggests the intensity and struggle for a battle. And the third one is a sky candle, a canning for the sun. It likens the sun to a burning candle in the sky. And the fourth one is earthbone, a canning for a mountain. It implies the idea of the mountain as a skeleton or foundation of the earth. And the last one is wave horse, a canning for a ship. It evokes the image of a vessel riding the waves like a horse. And that's all about the structure of a canning.
Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel D. Putis, and for my part, I'm going to discuss to you on how to create a canning. Creating a canning poem involves a process that emphasizes the use of descriptive words and metaphorical language to indirectly describe a subject, and here's how you do it. First is to choose a subject. Select the object of concept you want to describe using a canning. This can be anything from the mundane or to the abstract. Second, brainstorm descriptive words. Think about words and phrases that describes the chosen subject. These words should be evocative, vivid, and can be both literal and metaphorical. This will form the basis for your cannings. Third, create compound expressions. From compound expressions, using the descriptive words to create indirect descriptions of the subject. These expressions should be imaginative and figurative, not a straightforward naming of the subject. Combine words in creative ways. Fourth, play with metaphors. Use metaphors to connect the descriptive words. Metaphors create the indirect and imaginative aspect of a canning. Think about how one word or phrase can symbolically represent the subject. Now, fifth, organize your cannings. Arrange your kennings in a way that builds a coherent and vivid portrayal of the subject. You can use multiple kennings in your poems to add depth and richness. 6. Edit and refine. Review your kennings and the overall structure of your poem. Ensure that the descriptions are evocative and the metaphors are effective. Edit for clarify and impact. And lastly, 7. Finalize your poem. Once you're satisfied with your kennings and their arrangement, finalize your kenning poem. You can also add a little and a concluding line, though these are optional. And that's it for my part. Thank you for listening. I will give the rest of the time for my colleagues.
Here are some examples of kennings. Here are a few famous kennings from Old Norse and Old English literature, along with explanations of their imagery and symbolisms. First is Whale Road. It is an Old English imagery. This kenning describes the seas as a whale road, suggesting that the sea is a path of journey taken by whales. Symbolism. It emphasizes the vastness and importance of the sea in the lives of seafaring people. The sea is portrayed as a highway for whales, indicating the sea's significance in navigation and exploration. So the second example is Sword Rain. It is an Old Norse imagery. Sword Rain paints a picture of a battle with swords falling like raindrops. Symbolism. It conveys the intensity and violence of a battle where swords are wielded as weapons, and their impact is likened to the relentless fall of raindrops. So the third example is Sky Candle. It is an Old English imagery. This kenning describes the sun as a sky candle, visualizing the sun as a burning candle in the sky. Symbolism. It emphasizes the idea of the sun providing light and warmth. Much like a candle in a room, it symbolizes the sun's role in illuminating the world. Kenning poem example. There are several kenning poem examples that range from riddle-style poems that are made up of almost entirely of kennings, to poems that only use a few kennings to great effect. These poems range from ancient work to contemporary ones and are part of many different literary traditions. The kennings in each of the poems below are in bold for clarity. Cool Cliffs by Ian Crockett. The Wolf of Cool Cliff is crammed with gannets jammed in cracks or lodged on ledges, which in wave-lashed caves. Flight under sleek vertical stoop through the arcs and scoops of deflected seas on imaginations. As tongue tips, though on spines, may such ardent touchings delight and delight you. The depth the gannet owes to these seas implies each possesses awareness. Know their sap and now swept as my sea wolf's love cry. In this poem, sea wolf is a kenning for sailor and love cry is a kenning for a romantic poem. In addition to its use of kennings, this poem is interesting because of its inclusion of a great deal of alliteration and no set rhyme scheme. This element helped tie the poem back to older Celtic roots.
And now, I will discuss about the significance of kennings. Kennings are like poetic puzzles that makes poetry more interesting. They use creative and indirect words to describe things, which creates vivid images in the reader's mind. These indirect descriptions also carry deeper meanings and symbolisms. This makes the poem more engaging and adds a layer of artistry to the language. Kennings challenge both the poet and the readers to think creatively and actively participate in understanding the poem, making it a rich and immersive experiences. And that's all about the significance of kennings.
So now, to summarize our topic about kennings, we've explored the fascinating world of these metaphorical expressions used in Old Norse and Old English literature. We discussed what kennings are, how they're structured, and their significance in poetry. Kennings are a creative and indirect way of describing objects or concepts, using metaphorical language to add depth and vivid imagery to the written word. They engage the reader's imagination and contribute to the rich tapestry of literary traditions. Whether you're reading ancient epics or crafting your own modern kennings, these linguistic devices continue to captivate and inspire with their unique approach and language description. So before we end our discussion, let me first ask you a question. Have kennings sparked your imagination and change the way you see the world through language? Lastly, I am Joel Madrid of Group 6, and that is it for our video presentation about Kenning poems. Hope you learned something today.